Righty guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the Ironman. I'm still kind of elated after the ending of the previous video. Today we're going to begin by completing the Slayer task that I was just previously on. I have 74 Hydras left to go. Last episode, to spoil things if you haven't seen it, I suggest you click to the previous video, but I feel like that's enough of a warning. We got the Hydra tail, which will allow us to one day get the Dragon Hunter Lance, and for now, I'm not actually sure what I want from the Hydra. I get the feeling that I'll regret skipping it from this point onwards, but at the same time, I don't have any specific goal in mind. I get myself a lot of herb lore experience, a lot of dragon bones for prayer, and the Hydra bones themselves when using the Sinister offering is definitely adding up. So I'm going to finish this task. Maybe you guys can tell me below if it's worth pursuing Hydras in the future once you've got the items you need. Perhaps we could go for the spine, I think it is, to get the necklace upgrade, but 74 Hydras to go. Let's see what we can do. This will be the final kill of the task. I've kind of just been using the Bofa, not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna get myself killed here. That's always good to forget to press switch, but there's the final Hydra. I have a brief question. Is the blowpipe better on every single stage, or is there a particular stage where the Bofa ain't too bad? I don't know if it's like just a placebo, but I feel like the Bofa's like half decent. Like, it's great if I'm feeling lazy, and that's the only excuse I need to use it. But if there's, you know, anything more potent than that, if it's better DPS at a certain stage, that would be awfully convenient. But I'm going to pick up another task after panic elking everything here and picking up what I can get. And we get ourselves a... Nope, we do not get ourselves one of those. And we get ourselves a... Yeah, alright, why not? We'll get ourselves an imbued heart, surely. I always forget how much experience each of these trees give me, but it looks like that is enough to get halfway to 99 farming. This skill is lagging behind. I'm almost embarrassed. I don't like farming as a skill, but I do notice that a lot of like lower level Ironman, they'll have like 80, 90 farming so early on into their account. So I'm like, I need to get on this. This is just embarrassing, but a small step in the right direction, I suppose. Now, when I saw that Abyssal Demon task, I wasn't too excited, but I forgot I had these goading potions, and to be honest, these goading potions are kind of goated, because, like, this turns this task into, like, mildly okay into something that I actually want to do. It's going to be great for defense experience. The only downside is that I'm going to be training my prayer. I forgot my damn pouch. But all in all, it is definitely much less APM, which is definitely a plus, even if it's not perfect. Now I'm going to show you the following footage in confidence, alright? You keep this between you and me. No one else needs to know about this. I can't. Oh boy. This is why I'll never make a hardcore. Now I do know it's a bit of a gamble if you want a chance at running past the Iron Dragons, but to make things worse, if you follow up and you come back down with this sort of strategy, I pray for you, because something was watching over me in this moment. This could have ended so much worse than it did. Holy shit. Bro, if I just died... Hold on, I need to think. How do I get out of this? Did I just chance, like, everything that's on the floor just now? That's gonna my prayer's gonna cancel this. Holy, I can't... Yo... That is so scary. What on earth is happening there? That looks like something out of Minecraft. I'm so confused. I'm like, this is something I haven't experienced in a long time in RuneScape. I am genuinely shook right now. I think, can I get everything back? Man, I'm actually really scared. Like, if I died in that previous clip, what happens to all of these items? Are they just gone? Like, are they... Do I get them from death? Holy, I don't know. I feel so unsafe. I feel so naked. RuneScape, it's felt very like baby mode for a while, but like a moment like that and I'm instantly taken back to a time where I'm terrified. Alright, task complete. I've spent the whole task just reflecting on how dumb that was. I feel like I need to do some gratitude meditation, kind of sit down, journaling, something along those lines, because I could have lost a lot just then, is my understanding, and it is a scary thought to think about. I've worked very hard for these items, And the fact that I almost lost them has just made me reflect. I've come so far, and I probably need to be a little less careless in the future. So I've got a danger mitigation strategy. I'm going to no longer use the DJR Fairy Ring code to get to Abyssal Demons. We're going to use the CIS. I think it's closer anyway. Just old habits die hard. DJR is like a classic. It's just like the hub spot for any Slayer task. It covers quite a broad range of monsters, but yeah. I'm still shook. It's like an hour and a half later. That's okay. We've got a new Slayer task, and we've got plans to put in place so that never happens again. Let's try this with an actual cannon this time. Should be fast. So after the Kel fights, I did some Nechryaels. I generally bank multiple times per trip, but this time around I wanted to kind of see how many seeds I could get, just kind of organically without a seed box. And look, to be honest, that wasn't a deliberate attempt. I simply forgot the seed box and wanted to make lemonade out of lemons or whatever the hell. But this is just a typical Nechryael task. This is the thing that is funding so many herb runs. And despite me really missing doing a barrage task for the Nechryaels, you can't argue with results, and this is pretty hectic. Once I alcoholed this stuff, that's like 500,000 raw cash and a ridiculous quantity of seeds, not to mention all of the prayer experience that I got myself from using the demonic offering, or whatever it's called. I got it right for once. But yes, Nechryaels are super powerful, whether or not it's a barrage task. I think this will be good. Bloodvelds, they differ from Abyssal Demons in the fact that nothing they realistically drop is something that I care too much about. I just simply don't think it's worth, like, picking up the loot a lot of the time. At best, you get like a rune medium helm, so even if I'm AFK for too long, it's not like there's going to be a big loss, and it should be a pretty chill task all around the board with the goading potions. Alrighty, so this Nechryael task is coming to a close. This was a Konar task. I did not elect to do it in Prifddinas for no reason, but about, I don't know, 200 or so kills into the task, I realized these aren't the normal Nechryaels, these are the greater ones, and occasionally I'd miss a prayer flick, get hit at 20, and be like, okay, they do it differently in Prif, but yeah, it turns out these aren't the regular Nechryaels that I'm used to. As a result, the loot table is a little strange, but you do get a lot of brimstone keys and a lot of crystal shards. The seeds that you get are half decent, the elks are also quite good. It's just quite time consuming if I'm totally honest, but we did get ourselves 98 defense. I'll chuck that clip on there. So all in all, a decent task, but I don't know if I'm going to be excited to see it again in the future, because like the amount of time that took to do that task was probably just a little bit too much. I'd much rather burst those type of Nechryaels in the catacombs or melee the other Nechryaels in the Slayer Tower for sure. Today's been a pretty big day for Slayer. I think I've got about 350k XP. I didn't expect post 99 to have like days where I'm actually training this skill actively. I guess I'll do that one. But my ultimate goal in this moment, I want to finish the Noxious Halberd. I also want to get the jaw that comes from a certain monster that shall not be named. Either of which is the goal. I've done about, I don't know, between skips and actually doing the tasks, 20 plus tasks, and I've not gotten a spider or any other task that might be desirable to each of those outcomes that I set out before. So, I don't know, I'm going to keep smashing out Slayer. We do need the defense XP, we do need the prayer experience, and the chance at the imbued heart, especially for Abyssal Demons, isn't too bad. So, onto that one I go, and hopefully we get a decent task soon to actually tick off some objectives. I tried to drop the Slayer ring to pick up an ash and use the spell, but I just forgot I put it to a left click. That's the downside to quality of life. Holy. In general, the old Abyssal Demon task isn't that remarkable. This one, something else kind of got into the water. Something weird's going on. I got 2 Abyssal Heads that task, got 2 Abyssal Whips the previous, and then next task, I think I'll get myself 2 Abyssal Daggers. Cheers. Now last time, Konar, she arguably did me a little dirty, but this time around it looks like the Catacombs Nechryaels are the ones that need to die, and we're just finishing up the task now. Did the entire thing with goading potions, didn't use the bow for once, and we're gonna get ourselves a heart at the very end of this Nechryael kill as well. I always get confused with the names here. I always assume the greater Nechryael would be the one that is gonna pound me into the dirt. There's certain sentences, I shouldn't begin them because I never know how to end them, but yes. This task went pretty quickly, the goading potions, there's just such a like high quality of life thing. I don't know if I'll be able to get used to not having them in the future, And I think if I ever do run out of them, it'll be back to mixing mixology for sure. But there is the task in its entirety, almost complete. I'm so surprised this thing is just procking over and over again. A cool 70,000 experience, a bunch of brimstone keys, a bunch of elks. Thank you very much, Kona. I burnt my entire Explorer ring charges for the day on that task as well, and I still need more. It looks like some of this is going to despawn. Just finishing up a Black Dragon task, and I was starting to believe these things would never be assigned again. And it's only a matter of time before it gives me the parts I need to make that noxious halberd. We're almost at 1,000 kills, we've only got 1 out of 3 of the components, and RNG, something's got to give, man. It's been too long for too long. After this kill is complete, that will be kill count number 1,000. Do me a favor, the kill count that you finished your halberd on, just let me know, alright? Put me out of my misery. Let me know that there is a chance that some people don't go 1,000 kills without having one. Alright, Araxxor, what's it gonna be? Okay, at least I get to extend my trip. The spider hasn't been awfully nice to me, but after 1,014 kills, we finally got ourselves the noxious pummel. Here's my honest reaction. I got something. It was quite intense, but to follow it up, we almost immediately got ourselves yet another Araxxite head. The age-old question, will this give me enough experience? No, is the answer. Alright, there we go, 93 farming coming in. It's always one or the other, right? I always think it gives me like 12k experience per palm tree or something like that. Apparently not. But I'm trying to get out of the habit of thinking that I need all of my farming supplies in order before I start doing runs again. I'm just trying to use my supplies as I get them instead, and as a result we're getting a bit more experience than what I'm typically used to. But that reminds me, something that I've neglected for quite some time is the Tears of Guthix. I want to see if I can beat my PB and see what happens there. Looks like it is a US West kind of day. I have to take off my snippies. I don't think I'll beat my PB. I'm definitely out of practice. 231. Can I do it? I have no idea. Looks like it's going to come down to the wire. I think we're going to beat our old record. Not bad for a bit of rust on the old Tears of Guthix technique. My time is up. 239 is a new PB. It would have been nice if it was a nice clean 240, but that's okay. We'll just have to beat it another time. But for now, 91 Herblore is what we're going to get from that one. Once again, Herblore is our lowest skill. It's been a while. I can't remember the last time I even did this. I might have been even in the 70s for my Herblore skill when I last got Tears of Guthix experience. We can now make extended anti-fire mixes. Very cool. You're joking. Stop giving me those. There's like 10 of them. I'm good. It's so strange to me that the game gives me the 1 in 250 drop like 10 times, and it takes 1,150 kills to get the 1 in 200 drop. The third one, that being the noxious point. We now have every single component to complete the halberd, as well as 9 or 10 heads if we ever want to stick them and make a kebab. What am I saying? After we completed all of that, I'm now moving towards the little mini Araxxites, and this is one of my favorite tasks to do. The only problem is, the superiors, as much as I like to get them, learning about their mechanic was a little bit off. So, for those who don't know, they will inflict you with venom. If you do not purge that venom within a couple of seconds, it will hit you for a 50. So, a nice drop there, but not the one that I was looking for. Now, I don't really know if this is common practice or anything, but my prediction, if I were to make one, I believe I will get my imbued heart on one of those superior spiders. Mark my words. Although, I might be very, very wrong. So I just got this Dagonoth task, made all the way over towards the lighthouse, set up my cannon, and realized I don't have a whip with me. So we're going to do this one with an Emberlight. I think my max hit is like a 30. But yeah, I think having a cannon has definitely changed me as a person, because there's no way in hell that I'd be doing this without the cannon. I also need to mentally flag to never do this again, because this is going to be awful. I'm also noticing a bit of a issue with the Dagonoth heads. Like, for example, in my last task I was killing Abyssal demons. Midway through the task, 31 max hit. That's just so disappointing. What you'd end up doing is reanimating the heads during the task itself. That would count as a kill. That's all hunky-dory. I'm noticing with the Dagonoths, for some reason, if I go to animate the head, you cannot cast the spell while taking damage. So I don't know if that's like a bug, I don't know if that's intended, but I thought that mismatch was a little bit weird, and hopefully in the future you can animate heads whilst doing a Dagonoth task. I don't see why you couldn't. If you've got 6 Abyssal demons plowing into your rear end and you can still animate a corpse, why can't you do it here? But speaking of Abyssal Demons, I've mentioned quite a few whip drops. I don't generally document them because whip number 18 isn't as exciting as whip number 1, 2, or 3, but over time, I'm noticing the Abyssal whip is returning to its natural form, being over 2 million price, and 2.1, it's kind of climbing slowly but surely. Remember back in the day, I think it exceeded 2.5, maybe 2.8, somewhere in that ballpark back in, 2014 era or something like that. But another little chore that needed to be done was to collect some weapon seeds from the corrupted Gauntlet and convert them into crystal acorns. These were quite a foreign concept to me when I actually was acquiring these weapon seeds, but now that I'm trying to do some farming, these acorns are definitely coming in handy for both experience as well as crystal shards, and yeah, it's kind of nice that you can convert one into the other. After that was done, we paid a visit to death once again. I tried to sacrifice a bunch of different talismans, but turns out those aren't compatible, but sacrificed a few elks, restocked the death pile a little bit, which is probably going to get a flogging in the future, and ended up just dropping those talismans at the GE in the shape of a smiley face. What a beautiful sight to see. This will be the first Araxxor task that I've had since doing Araxxor that will be entirely with the little minions. The difference between now and back in the day is that I've got my venom potions, I've got my full DPS, and I can use my Slayer helmet instead of the Tanzanite mutagen that I was using back when I was killing them prior to doing the boss. So, wish me luck, hopefully we'll get a few superiors and see if my prediction comes to fruition. Now I know what you're probably thinking, an Araxxor task, that's fantastic, but what about your birdhouse runs? Have you been doing those lately? My answer to that is yes, I just did one, it's been a couple of weeks. But before we do this task, we're going to make ourselves a noxious halberd. I've had these 3 components sitting in my bank account for far too long, I almost forgot they existed, and considering how much effort we took into getting them, I think it is well deserved that we assemble the Avengers and actually make this obnoxious halberd. Fantastic. Let's see the animation. I probably should have stood a little bit further away from a bloody chest, but there it is. I don't know if the DPS is better than this in a defender when it comes to an Araxxor task, but I do want to give it a spin. I'll plug it into like a DPS calc or something like that, but this is the weapon that I'm going to be using on the little Araxxites. I feel like it's a bit of poetic justice, but we'll try it out, give it a go. Nice little stab, and a nice little defense level. Seems like a pretty powerful halberd. I'm trying to edit a video of superior spawns and Arania boots at the same time. I've also, by the way, put this on swipe. I wouldn't be so irresponsible as to keep this on stab the entire time. I just needed the defense experience. I must say it is immediately satisfying to use this weapon, although I just got absolutely dumpstered. I think I've taken about 100 damage in this task already. Let's see if we get that heart. Looks like not this time. I think my mistake has been thinking that this would be an AFK task. I could simply edit a video, but like judging by the cluster of crap you see on my screen, it looks like I need to pay a bit more attention than I thought. I think this time, the special attack of the halberd, I've been reading it, but I haven't like processed what it does. So I hope if I get venomized, I can purge it with this special attack, but I guess we'll see what happens here. Let's see, the venom comes in, can I purge it? I can, but I have to, what the fuck? Okay, that didn't work. I managed to purge the second one. Give me the heart. No, what is happening? Another one, please. I'm nervous to kill this one. I need to really be on the ball. What's it gonna be? It's gonna hover my mouse over this extended anti-venom. You ain't killing me this time, buddy. This is why my prediction is gonna be like the heart from these guys, because the amount of superiors that spawn here is just crazy. And I'm pretty sure the drop rate ain't too bad either. No such luck. This is the 4th superior I've had in 5 minutes. I'm starting to think that manifesting isn't gonna work, so I'm not gonna say anything for this one. Just see what happens. Hey, there we go. Don't see those very often. The Dark Beast task is generally just something that I do for free points, more or less, but I kind of forget that they actually drop a pretty cool item. I think that's only my 2nd Dark Bow. I've killed quite a few of these, 503 to be precise. Not gonna lie, I've been chasing the dragon at the previous task. I've skipped so many just to get this next Araxxor task. I'm very much in the mood and I'm feeling it. I'm in a good vibe, and I think it's not too far-fetched of an idea that if I do as many Araxxor tasks as possible, we definitely increase our odds of getting ourselves that heart. Or even the Eternal Gem. I kind of forgot that existed, but I also like that item. I forget where you can kind of check your log of your superior kills. Is it in here? Superior creatures, 240. Honestly thought it might be a bit more than that. I don't know what the average is, but obviously I think it depends on which superiors you're actually killing. between the different monsters, some of them have a higher drop rate than others, so I'm pretty sure the Araxxor one, the superior version, the drop rate is actually pretty respectable. So if we get a lot of them during a task, the drop rate isn't too bad. You know, it's just math, right? Although this time around, I am not forgetting my herb sack. I had to leave so many herbs on the floor that last task. Mate, I can't look away from the screen at all. Like, there's just always something on the floor. There's either a superior in my ass or a pair of boots on the ground. These Araxxor tasks are ridiculous, especially with a cannon. I gotta admit, no Slayer task is hitting as hard as the Araxxor task is. These Abyssal demons, they're great. The superiors are alright. The prayer experience is not too bad. And it will enable me to get to 94, but I'm still chasing that dragon, or the spiders more aptly. But considering the fact that we've been using so many ensouled heads during these tasks, I've actually started to remember to bring nature runes. I actually want to use the ones that I have in my bank account. I believe I've got several hundred heads in my bank that I need to use, and I want to use them before I hit 96. At 96 prayer, you get another prayer point per prayer dose, and I think that'll be valuable over time, and since that I probably have it banked, it's probably a smart idea to actually use them. Alrighty, this should be the end of that Abyssal Demons task. It is time to go use several hundred heads, but first, a birdhouse run. I also want to see what next task I have, because if it's Araxxor, I'm probably not going to do any prayer training just now. I've had these a lot lately actually, but they're no Araxxor, so prayer training it is. We're down to the final heads in the bank account. This one will give me 95 prayer. I wasn't sure if I was actually going to make it, I was kind of stressing out. But once I've used the rest of these in my inventory, I'll show you what the stash is left. I probably got, I don't know, sub 100k experience banked in heads. And I think for the rest of it, I might have to go to the Wieldy Altar. But it is kind of peak times right now, so I might procrastinate this one as well. Let's have a look what is left in the bank. ENS for ensouled heads. Yeah, just kind of some of these crappy ones. I might use the rest of them just to clear them out of my bank. And then, because there's no way in hell I'm ever getting an ensouled horror head ever again. So I will use the rest of these. But mainly for the reason to do a bit of spring cleaning, I think, more than anything else. Spring cleaning has been complete. There are no heads left in my bank account, thank you very much. But thank you for a superior Abyssal whip drop there. It's always enjoyable to get baited by a superior in that manner. There's always that like 0.5 of a second where you're not sure what's on the floor, but you know it's valuable and you kind of imagine what the future looks like if you get the item that you're looking for. But alas, we didn't get it. But I was fortunate enough to have my spirits lifted by this man who reserved my place, ready for my Anku task. And after that Anku task, we got ourselves the double devil special. Let's try saying that 5 times quickly. Holy. But yes, it looks like the rest of my night is going to be turning devils into ice cubes and hoping for the best. If I swap over to what I'm doing live right now, I'm just enchanting some slaughter bracelets. I'm down to about 2 of them here, so this will bring me up to about 70. These things go quite quickly, and since I'm already 99 mining, it's always a pain to get more gems. So if you're not 99 mining already, you're an Ironman, get your topaz, alright? Don't be like me. I love world hopping a bunch of times just to find out that I'm on the wrong spellbook and I've brought absolutely no runes. Alrighty, that is the end of the task. We got 4 superiors in total between the 2 double devil tasks and nothing to my name at this point. Is it weird to say that I think the game's trying to give me a heart? I feel like my superior spawns, they're pretty frequent. It's just the drops, not so much. I believe quite some time ago I gave a pre-warning that out of nowhere a jaw would appear someday. It appears today is indeed that day. At 2500 kill count, the Basilisk jaw has been unlocked.